This letter, my first of 2025, could have been about half a dozen other things, vivid recollections of a year that is now past, or it could have been about the plans for the months ahead and the places I will undoubtedly visit. Yet, I'm in no state for reminiscence nor for hope. What I am in is a state of unbotheredness. A strange word, if it is a word at all.
Place that I've always loved the best. When last I lay me down, final peace and rest I found.
On a quiet Saturday evening, I stood by the window, holding and reading this book, There, by Tommy Orange. There were moments when I thought of setting it aside and put it into the dump of tales I couldn't finish, but I stayed with it out of some misguided hope that it might change and bloom into something else, the way you're sometimes hopeful of this person you met once or maybe twice. Meanwhile, outside the window, there was movement in the air. No, it was not a breeze or birds. Helicopters and fighter jets wandered the air. Some grand Navy event was unfolding, the kind of spectacle that usually piqued my curiosity. But that evening, I preferred and chose the quietness of my room.
Oh, I wonder, yes, I wandered far from home. Oh, I wonder, yes, I wandered far from home.
Inside my room, a glass lay at my feet, empty and harmless. On another day, I would have picked it up to place it on the table, but that evening, I nudged it forward with my foot, slow and deliberate, to not make it fall. Barely 2 seconds into the mission, I failed. The glass toppled over, and since it was empty, it didn't leave any mess or a trace of my wasted action.
Freedom was in the air, you could feel it everywhere. Don't be blinded, it's God's gift, can't you see?
Here, have this hot milk and toasted bread, said my mother. It's good for you. You'll get some energy, she added, entering my room with a different glass that was not empty. I don't feel like having bread enough, nor milk, I replied. But she left them on the table anyway and walked out, leaving the door open. And not so long after, I found myself having the last bite of the same toasted bread I claimed to be not interested in, and then resumed the reading. Though I finished this book in the first week of this new year, my journey with it began 2 weeks before. I was with a friend, seated on a bench in a park in Delhi, as I heard her talk and share her stories. Several times during this conversation, she would switch to another tale and then change her path to the previous again. No, wait, let me finish this other story first, she would say, her voice and laughter inseparable. What's the book about? She asked, just after a bird, in a moment of divine mischief, blessed my right arm with its digested waste. I had made some progress with the book by then, and it seemed to promise an intersection of the lives of a dozen characters in the book. I explained this to her as she listened, her gaze fixed on me, while my left hand was cleaning the mess on my right with a boarding pass left among the pages of the book. Whether she was genuinely curious or merely being polite, I do not know for sure. But she did talk and listen as a good bit of time slipped away. Going back to the evening, I watched shadows on the terrace of the neighboring building, their silhouettes fixed on the unfolding spectacle in the sky. I stayed still, indifferent. Later, as darkness deepened, I walked out, drawn to the glowing shapes that danced above in the sky. How did they do it? I wondered. I had no answer, just as I have none for many questions that linger unanswered and unanswerable. So this is how letter 122 has turned out. Not much in it for you, isn't it? Wishing you an eventful year ahead. Your friend, Brooding Brook.